So when I got out of my screening for Bodies, 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 I'm not gonna lie, I was wondering how would I pitch this movie after seeing it because the trailer does the film kind of dirty. I'm not gonna lie. It sets it up as one thing when it's clearly something else. But I came up with an answer I'm pretty happy with. And I would say Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is a Gen Z version of Clue from 1985 meets Lord of the Flies and Mean Girls. This film is just as quotable as Mean Girls. Twitter's gonna have a blast with this one. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to For the Agenda. My name is Huang, and today I'm going to be talking about the newest film from A24, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. One of my most anticipated films of this year. I know I say that a lot, but I mean, I have been so hyped up about this film ever since I heard about the buzz coming out of South by Southwest this year. It just looked like a film made specifically for me. So the plot, according to Letterboxd, says, in an isolated family mansion, a group of rich 20-somethings decide to play Bodies, 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 a game where one of them is secretly a killer while the rest try to escape. Things take a turn for the worse when real bodies start turning up, setting off a paranoid and dangerous chain of events. I'm going to start this off by saying this review might be a little biased, but honestly, I absolutely loved this film. I love whodunits. I love dark humor. I love trying to guess what happened and who did what and follow along with the twists and the turns. I find those films to be so much fun and full of so much excitement when they're done correctly. And Bodies, Bodies, Bodies does it so correctly. Now, there is a misconception about this film, and I have seen it pointed out a bit on Twitter, but just to clarify here, I thought, like many others, that this was going to be a horror film more in line with a slasher, because that's how the trailer cut it. And honestly, the trailer did do it a little bit dirty, but final product is so good I can overlook it. And really, it hyped me up for the film, so it kind of did its job. But this film is a whodunit with slasher elements, not a slasher film, and I still enjoyed it. I really had such a fun time here. I really enjoyed the commentary here when it came to toxic relationships, when it came to talking about trust and friendships. I thought that was really good, especially with how 20 somethings with money act. I thought the satire there was really good, and how not everyone is who they say they are, and what they portray online, it's not the same as it is in real life. I thought it was really subtle, but also really clever the way they managed to weave that in here throughout the story. I thought it was really good. I also really like how the messages in this film really reflect this current generation as a whole when we're growing up in the age of social media that's mostly being run by Twitter, TikTok, podcasts, Instagram, etc. I really liked what that had to say. This is a really good satire. I enjoyed this so much. And it also has a killer soundtrack, banger after banger. This soundtrack is made for Gen Z. I don't expect everyone to be on the same boat as I am, but I genuinely think that this might become, if it's not already, my favorite film from A24, which is kind of wild to think about considering that Everything Everywhere All at Once also came out this year. A24, you're on a roll. Again, killing the game, doing it like nobody else. But quite honestly, I haven't been so happy and excited watching a film this year since Scream and Lightyear, and those are my top two films of 2022 so far. This is honestly a film I can't wait to rewatch. For me, this is going to gain cult classic status like right away. I know I'm hyping this film up a lot, but I feel that audiences are either going to really appreciate the satire, really vibe with it, and understand where it's coming from, and really enjoy it, while others might find the characters to be toxic and grating and really just get in the way of your experience. But that is the point of the film. And what they lead up to, I thought worked so well when it came to analyzing everything that happened throughout the film. The movie boasts one of my favorite ensemble casts this year. Like everyone does a great job in their performances and really stand out and have their own moments. Like someone who was like one of these characters. At one point, you have met one of these characters. At one point, you have had to interact with one of these people. You've probably had to do a group project with one of these people. But honestly, the performances are what make this movie. And considering everything that happens throughout the movie, I really enjoyed what this film did with this group of characters, and you even got to care about what happened throughout. Now, I said the performances make this movie, and they do. But the one standout I have to give my props to is Rachel Sennett. She gave my favorite performance of the film and had some of my favorite lines in this movie, especially this one joke about podcasting. I laughed so hard. I was quoting it as I left the theater. Again, this film is Mean Girls level quotable. That is really, really impressive. When Twitter gets a hold of these screen grabs of this film Twitter is going to just be using them all the time. I know it. I just know it. And a lot of them are going to come from Rachel Sennett. She was a powerhouse. She was so funny. She just has this it factor. The same it factor that I saw in Jenna Ortega when I first saw her in The Babysitter Killer Queen, and especially now in Scream. They are so talented and they are true scene stealers. I thought Rachel Sennett was this film's Scream Queen and did a great job with it. Like when I'm watching this film, there's one specific scene where I said, that. That is our Scream Queen. That is Scream Queen material. And this just proves that Rachel Sennett has a bright future ahead of her. I want to see her in so many other roles. I want to see her do a slasher film, slasher comedy. After seeing this, she could definitely do it. And if you have never seen Rachel Sennett act before, whether you see her act in this film and then want to check something out of hers afterwards, or you want to watch one of her performance before you see Bodies, 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 trust me on this one. Look up and watch Shiva Baby, directed by Emma Seligman. I am guaranteeing that you're going to enjoy her performance there. She is so good. She is someone else you have to keep an eye out for. She is just so talented. I also really thought Pete Davidson does a really good job here. He has a really funny line about gaslighting, which honestly was so good. And it was so out of nowhere that I was taken aback, like, oh shit. Pistol Pete Davidson really snapped with that one. I could see a couple of debates happening with that line. Like it was really good. And I also really liked Amandla Stenberg and Maria Bakalova. They were our leads. They were in a relationship together. I thought they were really great. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little shocked that Bakalova did this role only because if you saw Borat 2, and I try to forget that I didn't like Borat 2, but I thought that she was the highlight of the film. You know that she can be really funny and over the top. And her role here is very much more controlled. She's more the scared girl who doesn't know what's going on, doing her best to fit in with a group of people she doesn't know. But she pulls it off so well. And because you're expecting her to be this funny powerhouse, like you saw her in Borat 2, you're taken aback, but you're also impressed with her range. She is another one that has a bright future. This entire cast should be getting a lot of bookings after this. They are just so good. They're really talented. They're fantastic. They're the highlight of this film. They are what make this film so great, along with that clever script. Look, this film, I was guessing all the way until the end, and the ending will probably divide some people, but I understood what the film was trying to say. I got the message afterwards, like when it comes to, again, rich people problems, toxic relationships and friendships, and trust. I liked what it had to say, but I also think a lot of audiences are going to be like, huh, you're either going to like what they do or you're not. I still feel the ride is worth getting on, regardless of how you end up feeling about that ending. I'm sure, honestly, no one in my screening enjoyed this movie more than I did, and that's fine. I adore this film. Again, this has cult classic status in my book already. To be quite honest, it is a lot of fun. It's darkly humorous and it's at times ridiculous, and it works. So, overall, Bodies, Bodies, Bodies is another strong mainstream outing for A24. This is very much not like the other films the production house has released, and that's why it works so well and better than so many other outings. It's unique and it's entertaining. The humor is dark, the satire is sharp, and it's a solid runtime of 95 minutes that wastes no time getting the party started. My rating for this? I personally didn't find any flaws within the film itself. You can call this me being biased, but I'm going to give this film the coveted 10 out of 10 poetic cinema rating. My new personality trait has been unlocked. It is here. I cannot wait again to find all the screen grabs on Twitter so I can start using them. I would highly recommend you check this out in a theater this weekend as soon as possible. Hopefully, this doesn't get spoiled for you because it's so easy to spoil and ruin the experience, but it's such a fun time that you need to see this as soon as possible. And the best way to summarize how I feel about this film is
No, I don't think you understand. I'm obsessed.
so that is my review of Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Thank you so much for watching. You can check this out in theaters in Puerto Rico as of this Thursday, August 11th. And in the United States, you can check this out on August 12th, this Friday. It goes wide. It was already in New York and Los Angeles on the 5th. Check your local listings. I do not think you should miss this film. And if you like this video, you can hit the like button and subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. And you can follow me on Twitter and on Letterboxd at Leading Mohicans. And remember, regardless of what others feel about the things you love, it's always for the agenda. Bye.